What it do, guys? It is your boy Leon Mookie here, and today is a special what if for you guys. This originally was going to come out on that of the day of the 1 year anniversary of My Hero Academia's first ending, but I've been busy with a lot of other stuff and I haven't had the time to record it until now. And this is a series I've been wanting to do on the channel for a while now. Mainly because I've seen a lot of other fanfic writers do this, but they never really, commit themselves to do this, to be honest, and it really pisses me off. So I decided, if you want something done, do it yourself. And this is Deku the Summoner, a Fire Emblem / My Hero Academia crossover. And by the title itself, you know that Izuku is going to be the summoner. I mean, of course. Why wouldn't he be? However, the story is going to take that of a unique turn that I feel like not a lot of people do when it comes to MHA fanfiction, after all, and only a select few actually do. So yeah, at any rate, with all that said, let's get into this. Shall we, guys? Chapter 0, Heroes vs. Heroes. It all started in Ching City. A baby of light was born into the world, leaving everybody completely in awe and shock as the world began to change, with more and more people being born with that of powers. These powers would soon be known as meta abilities. However, the world would basically try and stomp out these meta humans, as they would be called. But as time goes on, human reform began to be built. Many other individuals began to rise up and fight back against the injustice. These people would be known as heroes, but they would start out as vigilantes, using their powers for the greater good, using their powers to rally others to stand up and fight for what's right. The first country that would implement this new system of heroes would be the United States. After that, the entire world began to adopt this new hero system. However, Japan, on the other hand, the country would basically take the hero system and basically run with it for so long, to the point that they rely on heroes for everything. Even disband out of their military, such as that of the Japanese Self-Defense Force and its other branches of the defense force, such as the Navy, ground military, and also Air Force as well. Many countries called out Japan for basically disbanding that of their military, even that of the United States, where heroes and the military worked side by side in case of major and powerful threats that could affect them, knowing that they would need all hands on deck. Even the current #1 hero of America, who took the title after their other former #1 hero, Captain Celebrity, basically was, publicity bum after all, but whatever, is not just a hero, but also has a rank and leeway within that of the US military. Japan's basically words were, they don't need one. All they can do is rely on that of the heroes, and especially one hero. A hero that has inspired that of not just Japan, but the entirety of the world. The man known as the symbol of peace, All Might, as this man would basically be the pillar of the world. However, all of that would change when an incident that would basically shake up the status of the world, when one person of this world would come back after such a harrowing experience, but not alone. It's currently February 10th. It's the time of the year for that of, third year students and final students would basically go to that of junior high schools, and colleges of their choosing. Entrance exams for many prominent and amazing schools. Currently now, that's of UA High School, one of the most prestigious and most greatest high schools in all of Japan, possibly even the world, someone to say. However, when there are schools like that of Shiketsu, Kitsubutsu, and many more around that of Japan, some would argue that too. Even that of the United States have that of their very own hero schools as well, alongside not just that of school, not outside schools, but also colleges to expand, to basically help those of blooming heroes grow even more than just going straight into that of the hero work field. It's exactly that reason on why All Might, the number one hero, first debuted in America, mainly to do that of to train more and study more on what it means to be a hero in America. But a lot of people end up forgetting about this and mainly focus on when he first debuted when he came back to Japan. As entrance exams come to an end, with some people feeling like they didn't make it, while some arrogant enough to basically believe that they passed with flying colors. However, they would care less about that entrance exam until a shaking basically hits the coast of Japan, leaving everybody completely and utterly shocked and caught off guard, creating a massive earthquake in the process as well, which affected almost the entirety of Japan too, with then leaving that of many pros, civilians, and even that of the government itself, and especially that of a certain, Japanese government bureau completely caught off guard too. And you may be wondering, what caused this basically massive tidal waves and also earthquake to affect Japan, as earthquakes aren't any different from that of tidal waves, but this was never meant to happen, as even though the years have gone by, people have focused more on that of quirks in developing them. Technology has still somewhat advanced enough that those in Japan have now found a way to, detect and prepare for that of earthquakes and that of natural disasters, allowing the heroes more time to prepare to save that of innocent people as well. But this came out of complete and nowhere, and mainly because of one thing. 2 days later, that one thing was discovered, that being an entire country or parts of a continent was basically found off of the shores of Japan. It was found by that of a fishing boat and a few other fishing companies too, who were planning on coming back to that of Japan and to port when they noticed that of the massive country in massive landmass in the distance. Soon later, the Japanese government began to try and get surveillance around that of the location after all. But no matter what they do, they can't. Even using that of satellites, such as was basically not unaffected, as their technology and screens have always been scrambled. So basically, technology is out of the question, which soon led to that of the pro heroes being called in on to discover that of the new landmass nearby. During the discussions about this, the Japanese government has already decided to call this fealty to that of the country of Japan, given that it's nearby waters. If it's a new landmass that basically emerged from that of the nearby body of water, it's only natural that they discover things out first, beforehand. This coming from that of the Prime Minister, however, it was basically a script written by that of the Hero Public Safety Commission, thinking about gaining that of new resources for Japan after all, and possibly for that of Hero Society in general. They'll be sending that of a small team to basically to find out what's on the island, alongside that of a news crew, so they can basically film and show what's going about this new island after all, given that they're unable to do so with that of normal equipment, such as that of satellites and drones. But the team will be composed of course, All Might, the number 2 hero, Endeavor, the number 3 hero who raised up in the ranks quite quickly in the past couple of years, and the youngest pro currently, Hawks, the 4th ranking pro of Japan as well, Best Genius, and the number 5th pro, Edshot, and the last 3 pros would be that of Mirko and Ryuku, alongside that of Gang Orca as well, as the current number 7th, 9th, and 10th pros would be useful as well, with the remaining pros, such as that of the top 10 being Wash, Yorimusha, and also Crust staying behind. We're hoping with these pros that from this new island would help us grow even more, with many people basically clapping from the words of the country's leader. With then soon a few days have now gone by with the pros now ready on a special made ship. However, All Might suit finally arrived, saying, "Sorry I'm late, everyone. I hope that we didn't keep you all waiting." As each one of the pros, such as Endeavor, a massive tall man with a quite muscular figure. However, what stands out the most is not just his blue uniform, but that basically radiates fire, but his fire beard as well with the fiery mask. When Endeavor basically snarling a bit, saying, "Took you long enough, number one. But I've had to ask, who the hell is the kid?" Within, seeing that of a young man right beside that of All Might, as being a young man wearing quite the colorly costume, not to mention given his surprisingly cartoonish face that makes him look like that of an old pre-Quirk looking cartoon back in the day, with his spiky yellow hair, saying, "Hi there, number two. My name is Lemillion. All Might allowed me to tag along to help out as well." Within, hearing that, Endeavor saying, "This isn't a babysitting job, All Might. They expect the commission alongside the government itself wants us to make sure that this island is safe to travel to." Within, soon, Hawk saying, "Chill, Endeavor. I think if the number one thinks that this kid will help out, I think it'd be a good idea." As the person saying this, being that of a young man wearing that of a beige yellow jacket and shorts, with that of red fiery wings, with that of messy spiky red hair and a orange and a yellow visor. This being the current number 3 hero, Hawks, with him basically landing right beside that of the hero that he idolizes, being Endeavor. But then Endeavor basically scoffing, saying, "Like I said, this isn't babysitting or a vacation." Within, Edshot, alongside that of Best Genius, with Best Genius wearing that of a fully, jean jacket, pants, and all the way going up all the way to his mouth, with him having a special comb for his hair, saying, "I think we need to place more trust in that of our number one hero. If he believes that," within, saying, "Lemillion, was it? I've never heard of you. When have you debuted?" As Lemillion, feeling quite nervous, scratching the back of his head, saying, "Actually, sir, I'm still a UA student. I just finished my second year at UA. I'm planning on becoming that of a third year, actually." Within hearing this, Genius can up and say, "Wow, this is actually quite scandalous. I see you've already taken in that of a protege, All Might, after all these years." Within, All Might saying, "Young Togeda is truly something magnificent, Genius. Trust me, you'll be a great hero, I'll tell you that." Within, Mario feeling quite embarrassed, with soon Edshot saying, "If the number one pro is bringing in somebody that he sees as his successor, maybe we all should have brought somebody else as well, besides just ourselves." As Edshot looking like that of a typical, shinobi, but with that of a unique hairstyle, basically multiple edges folded up almost like that of origami. Within, Hawks can up and say, "Worried quite a bit, Edgy? This is just a recon mission after all. Nothing to worry about. Outside of possibly, I would think that maybe at least a little bit of wildlife here and there, I don't think that there's anything we need to worry about." Within, Ryukyu, alongside that of Mirako, walking side by side, with Ryukyu wearing that of a, custom-made red Changsan dress, with that of, having a special-made, fanged head ornament over that of the right side of her hair, with that of, as she's being out of a blonde, with that of sharp teeth. As for Mirako, wearing that of a one-piece white leotard with that of a crescent moon as her symbol, as she has that of white hair and bunny ears, wearing that with that of red leggings, as she has that of a custom-made, rabbit boots after all. As Mirko saying, I think just bringing in people that we would trust as their successors would just hold us all back. If All Might's bringing in his own successor, then I'm okay with that. But everyone else, probably just be a waste. Especially sidekicks. But then, Ryukyu can up its side at that of her, long-time running friend, saying, Mirko, please. This is more serious than you think. Honestly, just the top 10 pros may put the public at ease, but what about that of the... But we are still just our own people. Even with that of the number 1 pro, we're going to that of a wholly new island formation. An island basically 5 times bigger than that of Japan. Not to mention, many of us are pros who work in that of urban areas, mainly in that of cities. Gang Orca is the only one who has that of experience working away from that of cities, but also on that of coastal areas. It would have been bringing in more of pro heroes that work in more in that of outdoors combats or in rescue situations that deal with that of natural disasters. We may be the top 10 pros, but none of us have worked in situations like this outside of All Might. We may be getting into that. We're going in blind just so the HPSC can have more control. Within hearing this from that of the current number 9 pro, then Hawks can help but narrow his eyes, even though he still has a bit of his, nonchalant smile, as he may be saying, "You're way too much on the mark, Ryukyu. This is basically just a stunt for the Hero Public Safety Commission, where they can gain more that of resources for themselves, possibly even taking the island for themselves to train to make a facility for that of future people like me, more public safety heroes that can be used as assassins. Having a place all to themselves makes things a lot more easier. Me being here is just for me to lay out the land a lot more easier." Within, soon, Georg is saying, "I'm with Ryukyu on this one. Overconfidence in that of terrains where we learn nothing about. We have no information, no details, nothing. No matter what we do or what kind of information gathering around this new island, it's nothing." Within, Hawk saying, "I wouldn't say completely nothing. There is something I can show you guys, but we gotta get ready to go on the boat first." As the news crews showed up, Within All Might saying, "Haha, of course. I told them that I would bring you all here so we can all do at least some to reassure the public a little bit, to give them at least some footage to help reassure that of the public after all." Hearing this, a few of the pros, except, that of Endeavor and even Mirko, who didn't want to. Endeavor, not because he doesn't care about basically saying, he's just going to say what he wants to say and then just get it over with. As a Mirko, she will do the same thing, but instead of being reluctant to speak her mind, she just sees it as a waste of time. With that of a good 1 hour interview basically taken care of, and a few of the camera crew going on to that of the boat, so the editors can basically focus on editing it. The pros head to that of their cabins, alongside that of All Might and Mirko heading to that of All Might's cabin, given that they made a custom-made ship for all of their requirements after all. Since All Might brought that of Mirio last minute, they didn't really bring anything. They didn't really make a second room for him after all. As seen out of the lavish, quite elegant, and quite amazing room that would be fitting for that of the number 1 hero of Japan. For All Might, he kind of sees it as, overly tacky after all. Within, soon, All Might deflates as smoke basically comes off his body, basically in that of his hero suit, as he's way scrawny, as he's a couple inches shorter than that of the form that all people know him as, with him having no muscle whatsoever. Within, Mirio goes to All Might saying, "You really worked yourself that far. You kept yourself in your muscle form for so long." Within, the man coughing, being All Might after all, saying, "I have to, young Mirio. The people need the symbol of peace to show themselves, especially my fellow pros. I'm going to have to reassure them in many ways after all. Not to mention, I agree with Ryukyu and Gang Orca about this mission, as he's still coughing quite a bit, with Mirio, shocked and surprised by this, saying, we know little about this area, about this place after all. If we basically go into this place half blind, instead of bringing in proper heroes who would be useful for this, then we're basically waste too much time. For the meantime, I can use this time to relax a little bit and may be able to recharge myself before they call me in after all. Within hearing that, Mirio saying, all right, All Might, I'll tell him that you need some time to rest. But then, soon hearing a voice saying, yo, All Might, you in there? And you other kid? We're heading to the meeting room to speak about what we're going to decide. Within hearing that, All Might basically busts up again, even though there's a little bit of steam still coming off of him. Within saying, of course, Hawks, we'll be there in a minute. Promise. Within saying, cool. As hearing that of the winged hero walking away, as then All Might deflates once again, saying, so much for resting a bit. With Mirio looking down, saying, sir, are you really sure that I'm the right one for all? I know you gave it to me, but sir basically recommended me to have it. What if you found somebody else that would have been worthy of one for all better than me? Within hearing that, All Might standing up saying, there wasn't anybody I knew who would be worthy of one for all than you. You earned it because you showed me everything you're capable of, showing me everything that you're strong enough to prove it. You have a weak quirk, but you worked hard and trained hard to do so. Not to mention your goal of saving 1 million people, no matter what. All of those are the qualifications on what it means to be the number one hero, to be the symbol of peace. You are truly worthy of one for all, Mirio Togata. Hearing this, Mirio couldn't help but be shocked by this, as he couldn't help but feel an overwhelming pride and joy hearing this from the man that has now become his mentor, just like his sidekick. Saying, I was just being stubborn for the past 10 months, not giving it to you. But you've proved yourself and earned it, one for all. And for that, you are worthy to be the 9th successor. Within hearing that, Mirio saying, I promise, sir, I won't let you down. I swear it as the pro hero Lemillion. Within, All Might saying, good. Now, within, puffing up once again, saying, we can't keep our fellow pros waiting. Shall we go, Lemillion? Saying, yes, sir. Heading into that of a custom-made meeting room with a few of the boat's crew operating out of the meeting room a little bit, as waiting for that of All Might and Mirio to show up, with Hawk saying, good, finally arrived, number one. Within, Endeavor saying, took you long enough. With All Might still giving off his trademark smile saying, apologies, just had to prepare myself, that's all. Within, Hawk saying, now I need to give the number one a third degree, number two. As long as he and his protege shows up, that's all that matters. Within, Mirko saying, enough of the foreplay. Come on, show us what you got. I thought there wasn't any information about this place. With Ryukyu saying, agreed. Everything that you, just like they've all said, every single form of information that we try to gather has been blocked or staticky at best. Even that of other countries where we asked for help have basically failed too. The only thing that we haven't asked for was military intervention, given that Japan doesn't have a military anymore. But then, Bestine is saying, now that I think about it, a military would be useful in this situation, to be fair. Having soldiers scout out the area beforehand instead of relying on us alone. But then, Edgeshot saying, those were the old days. We are the ones that need to be the one to protect Japan from now on. As the top 10 pros, it's our duty to make sure that this place we're heading into isn't too dangerous. So we are the ones that need to be the shield for the public in case this island is dangerous. Within, Hawk saying, this is exactly why I'm here. Before I then bring up out of a flash drive, putting into that of a USB port, as soon showing itself as going on that of a screen behind that of Hawks, saying, this is what footage we were able to gain from that of a drone, recording from that of a satellite over that of Japan, heading straight to that of the HBSC systems. And this is what we were able to gain before the drone went completely dark. Within playing the footage as the drone fully arrives into the area, noticing the location as it looks like that of a beautiful plains with that of farmlands and a few trees. Before then, they notice us in the distance. They see something but a massive structure in the distance. Before then, everything goes dark. With soon seeing this, as Sue getting over saying, so there are inhabitants on this island, but how's that possible? It just appeared, didn't it? Possibly coming from the ocean? Within hearing that, Edshot couldn't help but comment, saying, now, honestly, if that's the case, that there are actually people living on this island, possibly then it's not, a shift of an island mass coming up to that of the ocean, coming up to the ocean surface. Logical convenience? This could be the work of a quirk, actually. Within hearing this in the room, within Ryuki saying, as much as I want to deny it, there are still many quirks are becoming more and more prevalent and more powerful day by day. It wouldn't be surprising if somebody has a unique quirk that would possibly change or maybe even warp an entire landmass near Japanese shores after all. But then, Mirko saying, whoever it is, it just gets me even more hyped to do so. If they're a villain, then we just need to kick their ass. Within, Bashina saying, always so eager as always, Mirko. Within, the tan-skinned, white-haired bunny pro-heroine saying, huh? What the hell do you mean? Within, Bashina saying, what if it isn't a villain? What if this is somebody else? Possibly somebody, maybe a hero done this instead, believing that Japan was a safer place for what happened. Possibly that's of an influx of villains happening as well, and these people may be refugees. Within, soon hearing that, Ganger saying, it is possible, more reasonable to be honest, but there are still too many unknowns. Within, soon, that's when Mirio spoke up saying, actually, you see that structure? It almost looks like a medieval castle, don't you all think? In the video, I mean. Within, soon everybody looks at that of the video even more before it went dark, saying, honest, Hawk saying, now that you think about it, it actually does look like a castle structure. Within, as then Mirio saying, you could say they're old-fashioned, huh? Within, everybody is completely quiet, as for All Might still smiling, but mentally saying, oh, Mirio, why do you joke like this? Not I, how the hell do you find his jokes funny? As Mirio, not fazed by this, saying, tough crowd. Endeavor getting annoyed at that of the kid, saying, what again? Why are you even here? Then soon, Mirio couldn't help but got a little bit nervous hearing that. Before then, Hawk saying, dumb jokes aside, the kid may be right, Endeavor. This could be that of an old-fashioned, colony of people, if seeing that there are farmlands and old cottages nearby. When we reach the coast, we'll get more of a better view of everything beforehand. Before hearing a horn, as it seems like the ship is about to leave docks. As soon, Hawk saying, a good day or two before we arrive, so we all better get ready and prepare, or take a break at least. I'll head on ahead to basically get a better feel of the place and inform you guys once you arrived on land. Within, Ryuki saying, allow me to tag along too. I may not be as fast as you Hawks, but with my dragon form, I'll still be able to get that of a better bird's eye view. Within hearing that, Hawks couldn't help but say, hey, the more the merrier. Good to have you, Ryukyu. Within hearing this, they all basically walk out of the meeting room, heading back to their rooms, with All Might thinking, ah, thank you. At least I'll be able to finally take a break. Within as soon as the, boat leaves port, there are two figures flying over that of the ports, over that of the coastal port, and that of the hero's boat leaving, with one of them saying, looks like they're already leaving, just as the summoner said. Within, another voice, quite more seductive, saying, looks like we better go inform the others. Within, the other voice, as it sounds like a young woman, saying, agreed. Hopefully they'll come in more peacefully than basically attack. Within, the other saying, and if they don't, then we'll basically put them in their place as the naughty children that they are. As the two mysterious figures in the air fly off. However, what stands out about what as they fly off in is that of the things that they're riding on. One being a black dragon, while the other looking like that of a multi-tailed flying bird, like the mix of a peacock and a falcon, as they move quite fast, even faster than possibly what Hawks is even capable of. Currently on the ship, as a day has now gone by, with many of the pros on that of the ship basically relaxing, or at least, trying to take this seriously. Think about game plans if the people on the island may be hostile, especially Endeavor and Mirako, who take this time on trying to train and practice. Even though Endeavor is currently out in the water, he still can basically send blast after blast of flames just to make sure enough that it wouldn't be able to knock over the ship given the force alone. As for Mirako, her personal quarters basically has a fully fledged training section after all, so she can go all out just to but not too all out, not wanting to knock over the entire ship after all. As for the rest of the pro heroes, they're basically doing their own thing, with Hawks basically chatting up that of the ship crew, while the rest of the pros mingle amongst themselves. However, as for All Might and Mirio, on the other hand, they're currently in that of their personal quarters, with Mirio actually channeling that of his quirk, or rather, his second quirk, given that his main quirk is called Permeation, as the quirk he's trying to use is a quirk passed to him by All Might, a quirk he wasn't born with, given that he was also quirkless, as this quirk is called One for All, a quirk that has been passed down from user to user, from that of All Might's master, Nana Shimura, from her master and predecessor, Ain, and from that of his master, Banjo, or the hero name Lariat, and so on and so forth. As being passed down so long is the reason on why All Might is the symbol of peace, why he is the #1 hero of Japan, because of his overwhelming power, and basically hiding away his true identity from his true identity being Toshinori Yagi, and focusing more on being All Might. He created a being so powerful that everybody sees him now as an unstoppable, untouchable pillar. However, that untouchable pillar is weakening, not as strong as he was before, mainly because of his final battle with his nemesis, All for One. Now having to pass down his quirk to a successor, where Mirio is to be that successor. However, with Mirio trying to channel One for All, as lightning begins to crackle around his body, however, as soon as he feels it, that's when he collapses to his knees and basically feels like he's choking on something. Within, All Might in his deflated form saying, young Mirio, please hang in there. Saying, I'm fine, All Might. It's just, I don't get it. You gave me this quirk about that of a month ago, and now I can barely even use it. Every time, unlike that of my quirk Permeation, where it allows me to just sink into the floor, where it dulls my senses, when I try using One for All itself, I'm being suffocated. Like all my muscles tense up all at the same time, and I can barely even feel my body. Within hearing that, All Might saying, I didn't know this would happen. I've always had a good control over One for All from the moment I was able to have it. I can't give you any advice because none of the other users, not even my master, Nana, had problems with One for All until now. But then, Mirio looking saying, then maybe, but then having out of a big smile saying, maybe I should just focus on that of permeation. Maybe I can channel One for All through that of permeation instead of just using the stock power raw strength itself. Within hearing that, All Might couldn't help but smile, within saying, alright young Togata, how about this? Focus on basically using small percentages of One for All through that of your quirk permeation. It might amplify not just that of your pretty powerful blows and punches, but also maybe amplify on how well you're able to control yourself through phasing through the ground, after all. Within hearing that, Mirio saying, actually I was thinking the same thing too. Since One for All basically made you so strong, I was thinking about just using small percentages instead of just using everything all at once, or at least use that 50% of the power instead. So I think, but then using that of permeation while activating One for All at the same time, Mirio's speed falling through the floor amplified with it, when at the same time, using One for All, he was able to bounce back even more with a lot more force, with hitting his head up that of the wall, with then landing back on the ground before All Might catch him and put him on his feet saying, wow, nice catch, All Might. Looks like you got a good eye. With then, All Might couldn't help but not laugh, but he did smile before putting that of the taller teen down before going back to normal size. Within soon, All Might couldn't help but comment saying, still, hopefully we won't need to fight all the time, but knowing Endeavor and Mirako on the other hand. But then Mirio kept still smiling, saying, they're always ready for action. Can't blame them. What do you think we'll find on this new mysterious island, All Might? Within hearing that, All Might looks at his protege before putting his right hand, using that of his thumb and index finger on his right hand to basically stroke his non-existent facial hair before saying, I'm not entirely sure. Possibly we may get some new minerals and materials that we can use to improve that of support gears. If you haven't noticed, young Togata, we may live in this era of peace. But if you haven't noticed, a lot of people have become, accepting of the status quo. Nobody's challenging or basically accepting of trying to excel. Current pros are okay with where they at now, as long as they can stand on ground. We need a change. The world needs a change. I may not be the number one hero for long, but once you graduate UA, when the new year begins next month, I'll be spending all my time helping you improve with your quirk in One for All, readying you to become my successor. Within hearing this, Mirio couldn't help but basically tear up saying, I'm truly honored, All Might. I'll do my best. I'll give it my all that I've earned to be your successor. More than anything, I swear it. Within hearing that, All Might placing a hand on that of Mirio's shoulder and that of comfort and acceptance for his newest successor and protege. As the boat is reaching closer and closer to that of the new shores, little that anyone knows on that of the boat that they are again being watched, but not by the same two individuals from the port, by that of three others, on that of a Pegasus that looks almost close to that of, dead to be honest, as they wear that of a dark and gloomy black dress with that of pale white skin, almost like she's completely cold and dead, with that of silver white hair and a ponytail, looking over that of the boat. But she's not alone, as two other individuals, one being that of a giant hawk and the other being that of a somewhat large crane, within opening up a book, within saying, this is Air. My Lord Summoner, this boat is arriving on course. By my estimate, it should arrive in possibly the next 5 hours. Within, the crow soon spoke up saying, looks like their boats are a lot more faster than what we see in that of Tenryou, or any other world that uses that of boats for travel over the seas. Gotta say, boss, your world of steel is quite something. Within, that's when that of the crane-looking creature spoke up saying, Navaris, show a little bit more respect. This world may be more advanced than that of the kingdom of Nidavellir, where Princess Renjin is from, but even so, this world has caused nothing but pain for our summoner. Be prepared that they may cause him even more. Within, Naysala saying, oh, trust me, if they do cause problems for the Order of Heroes, and especially for our little summoner, then trust me, I am 100% aware what we need to do. Within a voice over that of the tome book and that of Air's hand saying, excellent, you three, come back. We're already preparing for plans to welcome that of our newest guests. Within, as the voice sounds quite young actually, somewhat possibly maybe a teenager or a young man, who could say. Within, closing the tome, as soon the girl grabs the reins on that of her Pegasus, before he eyeing it, as it soon flies away with that of the two other talking animals by her side, flying faster than that of the boat that the pros are on. A couple hours later, it's now become the evening. As the sun sets, a few of the pros couldn't help but enjoy that of the sun setting. However, Endeavor, alongside that of Mirako, aren't really impressed. Well, Mirako is somewhat impressed at that of the view, as you can't really see that from time to time after all. Within, Hawk saying, alright, in the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to arrive. Within, soon everybody noticing that of the large island in the distance. With many of the pros still somewhat shocked about this. Within, Beshina saying, hard to believe that we haven't seen anything about this. No matter what we try in surveillance, we can't really reach this place. It's almost like, within, Edshot saying, somebody wants to keep things hidden. Possibly the inhabitants of this island. With Gang Orca commenting saying, you really believe that the people on this island could be full of villains, or the person running the island could be a villain? With then Mirako saying, only one way to find out. Hey, Ryuko, you're gonna give it your all out there. You and Bird Boy over there. Hearing Mirako call her by her name, showing that she's actually serious and also somewhat worried for that of her friend. But it can't help but be at least a little bit embarrassed being called by her first name like that. With it saying, of course, Rumi, you don't need to worry. Me and Hawks have this. Then saying, yeah, bunny girl, we got this. No need to worry. Within, soon flying up into the air, saying, already on it. Well, remember, keep your con devices are already on. Each and all of you have them. Within, everybody shows that of their comm devices, as some of them put them in their ear, while some not so. Just show them off, saying, good. Ryukyu and I will be the ones to scout out the area like we said we would. Just so you know, we'll give you guys a heads up. But if we do find some buried treasure, well, finders keepers. Within, after saying that, he soon flies off, blitzing towards that of the island, with Ryukyu basically transforming as she grows a lot larger and bigger, alongside that of her clothes too, as she actually looks like that of a humanoid dragon. Within, saying, we'll be back, promise. With that, she flaps her wings and flies after that of Hawks, but not at the same type of speed as Hawks though. With then soon, Mirio couldn't help but comment saying, wow, talk about that of amazing pros. But then soon looking at that of Endeavor, who's scoffing, as Mirio saying, hey Endeavor, can I care to ask? Why don't you go after them? I mean, can't you use your flames to basically fly? Within, soon glaring at that of the young man. If Mirio still having that of his smile on his face, but seems a little bit more, well, frightened smile, to be honest. With then, All Might saying, he does have a point, Endeavor. You have been able to fly before. Why not now? Within, soon, Endeavor couldn't help but scoff, saying, it takes too much out of me, to be honest. I'm not wasting my time and energy basically flying when I can use that to prepare for anything to come our way. Within, too, Miriko couldn't help but laugh, saying, so, in simpler terms, you suck at aerial fighting, in case that there is some. Within, hearing that, Endeavor couldn't help but glare at that of the Rabbit Pro, with her still smirking at him and that of teasing. Within, soon, the other pros couldn't help but feel like, why were they invited again? Within, soon, Ryukyu was able to catch up with that of Hawks. However, before she did, Hawks was having that of a secret conversation over his earpiece with that of the president of the HPSC. Within, saying, we're reaching the island sooner than later. In the meantime, we'll be ready for what's to come. Within, the president, all the way back in Japan, and that of her office, with that of a few of her, well, subordinates by her side as well, saying, excellent, Hawks. Remember to keep in contact with us. To the public, this is basically to reassure them that the pros in Japan can handle anything that comes our way, no matter what. But in reality, it's your duty to see if there are any resources we can use to gain and gather, and if this is a deserted island that we can use for ourselves. Remember that. Within, saying, yeah, I'm aware. But just by a glance at that of the place after all, even over that of the map, without a certain satellite imagery, we can't zoom in on it or basically get anything from it. This place may be big. This place is a lot bigger than people expected. There's a chance that other countries would be wanting this place too. Possibly even use it as that of a secondary, well, home for that of mixed races. Not to mention, within, she's saying, you don't need to worry about that. Just worry about that as your main duty on searching around the island. We'll handle about everything else. With Hawks narrowing his eyes, saying, yeah, I know. You want to take every advantage that you can get and use whichever you get to basically keep your very basic and corrupt hero society under your thumbs. The Prime Minister is literally nothing a puppet to the HBSC, and that's the actual truth. Before he could say anything, he soon changed that of the signal as Ryukyu catches up with him. With that of the president, realizing that Hawks changed the signal, within saying, doesn't matter what he wants or not, this is what needs to be done for the greater good of our society. Backward over that of the air, within Ryukyu saying, sorry for taking too long. You're quite fat. You're not the number 1-3 pro for nothing. Within, soon, Hawks saying, that's common flattery from somebody who's been at this longer than I am. Within, they're getting closer and closer to that of the shores and the ground, saying, we're getting close. Once we arrive, we can. Within, soon, Ryukyu saying, wait, stop. Within, saying, huh? Before then, Hawks noticed saying, oh, holy crap. How the hell? Within, soon, coming over the comms as the boat is getting closer and closer to the shore. Within, soon, Hawk spoke up saying, hey, everyone, looks like we got a bit of a problem, actually. Within, soon, hearing this, Endeavor saying, Hawks, what kind of problem are we talking? Within, and All Might saying, Hawks, Ryukyu, explain. As the number 1 pro, somewhat being shocked, within Ryukyu also explained through that of her earpiece, saying, it looks like the inhabitants came to welcome us. As soon as she says this, panning up to that of the sea, to the edge of the shores, right before that of reaching that of the sandy beach, onto that of the plain of the somewhat plains-like area, is that of over 100 people. Many people wearing that of different clothes, close to that of medieval, but many of them wielding swords, spears, axes, books, and daggers and bows, while some are basically riding on that of horses, and even other creatures like that of Pegasus and wyverns. Within Ryuku saying, and there's quite a bit of uniqueness about them. Like many of them are basically just wielding swords, lances, and axes, medieval weapons to be fair. Within hearing that, Edshot saying, medieval weaponry, that stuff that you would see from old times. Why would they? Within, Gene is saying, could it be a primitive culture, a culture that relies that on old-timey weaponry? Why would they, when they have quirks? Within, soon Endeavor saying, is this some kind of declaration of war? Within, somebody saying, a declaration of war? Please. Like we would basically need to do such a thing. As they heard that voice, within, many of them look around saying, yoo-hoo, up here. Within, seeing on that of the top of the bridge, where that of the captain and his crew are, they see a woman basically dangling her legs over the edge, with her looking at that of all of the pros, as she wears that of a white dress that shows off quite a bit of her curves, with that of long white boots and a staff by her side, not to mention that of her beautiful maroon red hair with that of purple highlights at the ends of her hair. Shows quite a bit of her beauty. As you look closer, she almost looks to be that in her mid to late 20s, actually. Within, Endeavor preparing his flames, with all of the pros preparing their quirks at the same time, with even All Might getting into that of his battle stance as well, preparing to use one of his smashes, with even Mirio preparing two. Within, Sue, as Endeavor saying, who the hell are you? Are you a villain, damn it? Within saying, huh? Oh, I do tend to play that the villain role from time to time, mainly just for a bit of fun. But the villain role doesn't suit me as much as it used to after I got married. As for who I am, my name is Loki, the trickster god. As she stands up with her staff, flourishing that of her left hand like that of a entertainer, trying to gain the attention of her crowd. Within, Ryuku saying, God, calling yourself a god, huh? That seems like some kind of what a villain would basically call themselves. Within, she's smiling that of a somewhat seductive and somewhat giggling smile, like that of a girl that's enjoying that of having a little bit of fun, saying, oh, please, I'm just having a little bit of fun. Within, mentally saying, if only they knew or even believed. Within, soon, Best Jean is saying, you call your name is Loki, is you not? To have the name of the trickster god of the Norse. But however, you are a female. Why would you call yourself a god? Wouldn't have goddess make more sense? Within, saying, well, true enough, but I prefer god because it kind of fits more often than just a mere goddess. All I'm saying is that force at that of the boat, at that of the edge, waiting for all of you, is not here to fight. They're here to defend. Within, hearing that, all of them, with Georg saying, defend. Edshot comes to the realization saying, they came to defend their place from us. Within saying, ding, 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 bingo. Just to let you know, if you intend to fight them, you'll all lose. Within, hearing this, all of them say, what? Within, soon, All Might saying, what makes you think that we would lose? We're the top. Many of us are top-breaking pros, masters of our own quirks and abilities. You expect that we wouldn't be able to handle ourselves? Even if it is against 100 strong. Even if it's just with people with mere weapons. Within, soon, she couldn't help but laugh, as Loki, having that of a big chuckling laugh, like she has never laughed so hard in her life. Within, almost close to basically dropping her staff, saying, whoops, that was close. I needed that. It's been a long time since I've been able to laugh so long. Unless I'm with that of my husband, of course. No, I'm laughing. It's because you have no idea what you're up against. The people you will be fighting against, to be honest. Compared to what all of them are all capable of, you're all basically pretending to be what they are truly are. Within soon, hearing that, as she's no longer it's no longer seductive or teasing. Instead, it almost sounds chillingly ominous, saying, "You are all nothing but playing heroes. The ones on that shore, the ones waiting for you to try something against them. They're the ones who are the true heroes. If all I'm telling you is, don't be stupid and pick a fight with something that you're not ready for. After all, I am just a mere messenger. We've all been waiting for your arrival since the moment that you all left Japan. Just telling you, do the smart thing and don't pick a fight that you're not ready for." Within, after saying her piece, would soon bladed like wings began to materialize over that of her right side of her under her back, before then fully fading away in particles of purplish lights, before having off that of a malicious darkness. Within soon, many of the pros on the boat couldn't help but be completely shocked by this. Within soon, Ryuku saying, "We'll wait for the rest of you to arrive. I'd rather not basically cause a incident here with the locals." Within Sood hearing this, Endeavor saying, "You cannot be serious, Ryukyu. If they're threatening us, then." Within Sood, Miriko saying, "Look, I like a good fight as much as the next gal in pro heroine, but I'm not stupid to fight against hordes of people just for the fun of it. And as much as I want to fight them, and I mean I do, I'm not just gonna fight just to fight. I'm not a vigilante anymore after all." And she says that part quietly to herself. Within, All Might saying, "If they do try something, Endeavor, we will fight. But if not, let's do this more peacefully and diplomatically. You need to be symbols, after all, of peace for two countries, it seems." Within hearing this from the number one pro, within him scoffing, before then saying, "Fine, we'll do it." With the rest of the other pros following All Might's lead. With that, the boat finally arrives to a close enough point. Before then, they go on that of a small speedboat, big enough to at least carry many of the pros alongside Mirio as well, with Gang Orca basically, driving that of the boat. Within saying, "Once we arrive, I'm not going to be able to get the boat very close to that of the shore. If we do, it may get stuck. And sure, we may have that of All Might and even Miriko here, but I'd rather not have to waste time basically getting the boat back into the sea. Hope you all don't mind dropping into the water a little bit." Within hearing that, soon they were saying, "I'll just fly off to the shore." With then, soon, All Might saying, "Jump away is what I do best." Within, Jean is saying, "All Might, you don't mind carrying if you can?" Saying, "Of course." Within, Mirio saying, "What about me too?" Saying, as All Might, of course, bring his protege along. Within, soon looking at Miriko saying, "Try not to destroy the boat when you jump off of it." Saying, "Hey, I know my own strength, damn it. I get too hot-headed and excited, but that still doesn't mean I can't handle myself." Within, rolling his eyes through his orca head after all. But even so, they soon arrive pretty close. Within, doing exactly what they did, with Endeavor flying off using his flames, Edshot folding his body into that of String to head to the shores, All Might carrying Best Genius alongside that of, with Mirio, and soon Miriko kicking off up into that to the shores. Within, Gang Orca basically jumping into that of the water and swimming there. Luckily, his hero costume is basically waterproof after all, so it won't get completely and utterly soaked. A wetsuit is basically not to scoff at after all. Within, soon arriving in the location, with Ryukyu in that of her normal form, and Hawks basically standing side by side. Within, seeing each and every one of the pros arriving, within saying, "Thank you, looks like you all arrived." Within, soon seeing Gang Orca swimming from that of the shore, walking up to the others saying, "So, that's all them?" Hawk saying, "Yep, each and every one of them. Huge, at least that, I counted at least that of a few 120. Within, soon, Endeavor saying 120. It's ridiculous. They really were planning on fighting us. This is a bit overkill." Within, soon, All Might saying, "If they knew that who we were, it almost seems like it was more as an over precaution, if anything." Hawk saying, "Makes sense. I heard you guys over the comms. That Loki chick really did was more of a messenger. She really was trying to warn us not to try anything stupid." Within, hearing that, Mirko saying, "Even so, next time I see that chick, I'm gonna kick her goddamn teeth in. Nobody makes fun of me and gets away with it." Within, hearing this, soon All Might saying, "Calm yourself, Mirko. Remember, we're here for diplomacy." Within saying, Yeah, I get it. Don't cause any trouble." And especially for the massive army within, realizing, are those people riding dragons and flying horses? Within, Ryukyu saying, "Pegasus, yes, and I'm pretty sure those aren't truly dragons. They're wyverns." Within, looking at her, saying, "What? I'm half. My quirk literally turns me into a dragon. I know what a dragon looks like." Within, Hawks couldn't help but smirk a little bit, saying, "Either way, let's introduce ourselves to the locals and trying not to cause a diplomatic incident after all." Within, hearing this, as they all head to that of the huge force in the distance. Within, soon seeing them arrive, is then a young man with that of blue hair, wearing that of golden armor, and has that of a golden sword in his right hand, with the tip of the blade to the ground, as within saying, "Looks like they're arriving." Within, soon, that of a girl that almost looks close to that of the blue-haired boy, but with that of golden blonde hair, also wearing the same kind of armor, but has that of a shield and also a somewhat innate golden spear as well. "Brother, those are saying, yeah, those are the heroes that you talked about, didn't you, Deku?" And then soon, looking at that of a person with that, wearing that of a hooded cloak, saying, "Yeah, those are the pros, the top 10 pros of Japan. And just by looking at them, it doesn't look like they've aged a day, to be honest." Within, soon hearing this, somebody spoke up saying, "Will you be okay?" As it being a woman with that of pinkish hair, with that of a blue dress that shows quite a bit of her cleavage after all, a somewhat ceremonial, somewhat religious nun cap actually, within the young man saying, "Yeah, I'll be fine, Gunthra. Hopefully they won't they attack first and ask questions second, given that a majority of pros back in my day did that all the time." Within, soon hearing that, a red-haired girl wearing the same kind of armor as that of the blue-haired boy and that of the blonde-haired girl, as she has that of a unique and somewhat mystical axe in her hand, saying, "Sorry I'm late. I just arrived with the others. Made sure that the civilians are all taken care of." Within, the boy known as Alphino saying, "Good work, Commander Anna. With this force, even if they are capable of handling themselves, we'll be prepared and ready for what's to come." As the person called Deku saying, "I only wish that it won't come to that. Maybe a few of those pros would definitely be fighting will definitely want to be fighting us. But the others, who could say? Within a few minutes later, they finally arrive in that of the Green Plains. With that of the huge army of warriors with all shapes and sizes. Some look young, some look old, some look like children, while some look like grown adults like themselves. Within, soon seeing this, Jean is saying, "My word." Within, Georg saying, "Many of them are just children. Why would they?" Within, All Might saying, "Why bring in children into this? This isn't." Within, soon, the young man with the blue hair known as Alphino, alongside that of the blonde-haired girl, and that of the man with the hood saying, walk up to that of the pros, with everybody else staying behind. Within, soon, realizing that these are probably their leaders, as thinking that the top 3 pros should be the ones speaking on that of behalf of Japan, with All Might, Endeavor, and Hawks walking up to that of the 3. Within, as all three on both sides walk close to each other, but not too close, as they all stare at one another. Within, soon, that's when the blue-haired boy saying, "Greetings, visitors from the other country of Japan. My name is Prince Alphino of the Kingdom of Asker." Within, hearing this, soon, that's when the blonde-haired girl saying, "My name is Sheena, Princess of the Kingdom of Asker and younger sister to Alphino here." Within, the young man in the hood couldn't help but stay quiet. But soon, that's when Hawk's saying, "Not gonna introduce yourself, hoodie guy?" Within, soon, clenching his fist. Within, soon, saying, "Shy, that's fair. If you're wondering, my name is Hawks." Catching that of the blonde-haired guy off guard for saying, "The number 3 hero of Japan." Within, looking at it as he points at Endeavor, the number 2 hero of Japan. Before pointing at that of All Might, saying, "All Might, the number 1 hero of Japan and the symbol of peace, considered to be the hero of heroes of this generation." Within, hearing all this, saying, "Can I ask, you are aware of us, but it almost seems like the 2 of you, but you," saying, "That's because I'm originally from Japan myself." Before then saying, as leaving out of the 3 pros somewhat stumbled, with Endeavor basically concealing it a lot more. Before then, removing his hood, showing that of a messy mop of green hair. However, the eyes say differently, as normally these eyes would basically hold a lot of life, joy, and happiness. But instead, they hold that of the eyes of somebody hardened by that of years upon years of battle, as his appearance is that of a young man, possibly that of a teenager, maybe late junior year, or that of early high school, as he has that of diamond-shaped freckles on each cheek. Before then saying, "My name is Izuku Midoriya. It's good to see you again, All Might." Within, hearing this, All Might recognizes the young man from that day saying, "But you are..." Within, soon, Endeavor saying, "Who the hell's this brat?" Within, Hawk saying, "Wait, I remember seeing this kid. It was around that of last year, during spring. A quirkless kid went missing, and yet, after a month, he was never found." Within, it's always been presumed dead, but he's..." Within, saying, "You're young Midoriya." As I say, on behalf of my friends here, welcome to the Kingdom of Asker, home of the Order of Heroes. As this is the beginning on how heroes from other worlds came to another world of heroes. But but these heroes from other worlds will show this world of heroes what it truly means and earns the title of hero. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And like I said, this is the last, at least until the end of the month. I won't be posting anything else new. This was just a obligation to do so. After all, I'm still on hiatus until YouTube gets their shit together, which may be a while, but even so, I'm going to at least try and do things in my own way and try and boycott this shit. So yeah, any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, get to date my videos up on the channel. Also, please go on my Discord, gaming channel, main channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All link in the description below, if I'm not too lazy to do so. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, hope you all take care.